Hello. Hi. Now, Diary of a Wimpy Kid is going to be coming out on May the 19th, the long haul one, the fourth one. And I just thought, you know what? Until the movie actually comes out, let's try and talk about them. Welcome to Let's Talk Singing, Acting and Dancing. Today we are going to be talking about Diary of a Wimpy Kid 1 and then 2. This is going to be a long one, but enjoy it whilst you can. Now, before we begin, the other day my mum brought me this, a diary. It says diary, but it's a journal. Like, doesn't she know how kids think? Like, this is for one day when I'm big and famous and people are asking me questions, so I'll just give them this because I don't have the time for that. I feel sorry if that editing scene was rubbish, but that was like, that they said that nearly had to start at the 2 first Diary of a Wimpy Kid films, and also that was one of my favourite lines. Like, I've been rewatching the film for quite some time. I've been rewatching it since the day I went one to Sainsbury's and I actually saw the films. Now, first of all, I think I've already got them, but it doesn't matter because guess what? They're on YouTube. Alright, so now we're going to go into talking about the first Diary of a Wimpy Kid film. And we're going to do this all a bit differently. Why? Because I don't know. This one. So, this is the introduction. The other two are in place, but this one, when you make a film, you always put the starting point as an introduction. Like, for instance, introducing the story, the characters, and how they go along. With this, some of the main characters are Gregory, Wowley, and including Gregory's family, including Roderick as well. Some of the people in the school is also the main people as well. And did you know this is the only film that Chloe Grace Moretz, that girl who's also in Kick-Ass, this is the only film that she was in, the only Diary of a Wimpy Kid film that she was in. So the story goes from, you get to see two beginnings you do. The first beginning is where Roderick comes in and says to Gregory, Greg, time to wake up. And then wakes him up and he tells him that he needs to get ready to school. Mum's been telling him to, and Gregory rushes down, makes some noise, and then I fully remember this without watching it. His dad comes through and says, what are you doing? I love the face of the actor though, he's so funny. No matter what he does, it makes me laugh. But, so he says that, and then Gregory, he says, get ready for school! And then Dad says, I think it's 2 in the morning. And I also think he said that school doesn't start for another 2 weeks. So yeah, and then basically Roderick gets him. So basically Roderick was basically tricking and pranking Gregory, thinking it was school but not really. Now this film came out in 2010, which means I was either 10 or 9 years old, and Gregory and the character was like probably one of my age groups. So yeah, and then we get to see intro, and Then after that, we also get to see the same scene once again, but this time there's no rushing, and he gets ready quite slowly and quietly. And how we are in the mornings, as we are human beings, we are quite tired in the morning. Well, really depending if you've stayed up quite late. So we get to see him go to school, and we also then get introduced to this another character, this another kid called Wowley, and they're both in middle school. It's like their first day, including some other young children as well. So then we also get to introduce some other characters as well. This ginger kid, I can't remember, and there's also this other one. They introduce us, they do, and then later on, after they've talked with the character that Chloe Grace Moretz plays as, they come out, they put their t-shirts back on to trick them to think that they're on the t-shirt team, and then they go ahead and they find something on the floor that you wouldn't really find on the usual school floor, which is quite unusual, if you would say. But yeah, again, it's a kids' film, so mind back. They find there's some words I don't like saying, not because they're bad, but anyway. They find it on the floor, they do. They go and walk over it, and before Gregory gets to touch it, as kids do, they'll literally touch anything, unless if they have got some senses to know that it's bad, or if someone tells them. This other kid comes along and says, "Stop! Good God, man! You nearly got the thing touch." I can't say the word now. So then he tells the story to Gregory and Wowley of what the cheese touch is, and then he got sent away by this other student who's at the school. So yeah, so that happens. Now, in the middle of the film, we get to also see that it's Halloween, and Wowley and Gregory go out on Halloween night. I think what they do is they do actually pick up some candy, they do, but then they run into some bad boys. They do some creeps, I would say. They look like old enough to drive, so I would say adults. So, presumably somehow they just want their candy, I think they do. I can't falsely remember. They run to a house, then they run to the place where Roderick earlier said in the film that it was haunted. But really, that scene was basically Roderick trying to scare those two. But yeah, again, just be mindful, that type of stuff can be real. So, when they're running into the woods, the boys decide to, no, not the, what do you call it? Cursed woods. Let's get out of here. And then they leave Wowling and Gregory. So they come back, they do, and then they get drenched by their dad, thinking they're teenagers, but they're not. They're actually their children. And then also we get to see later on in the film that Gregory and Wowley are on a walk with some even more younger children from their age. I don't know why schools allow this. It seems unrealistic. I hope it isn't, because to be honest, I would say no, and I wouldn't leave my kid to do that. I would instantly say no. Anyway, so it's raining, it is, and Wildly and Gregory sees the people that they saw at Halloween night and try to make sure they don't see them. Now, I think what they did was they put all the children into this hole, and they shouldn't have really done that, because now, both of them are off. 2, Gregory and Wally are not friends. And that's basically it. So then we get to see what it's like the children who basically once they're friends, now they're not. So Gregory, the kid that he is, wants to just make a new friend and maybe make Wally jealous. So what he does, he walks over to this house, to this other kid who's like a bit and disgusting even for me, I'm a 16-year-old, and goes over for a bit of a sleepover. And then a couple of seconds into the house, Gregory decides, oh no, it's a bad idea, I'm going to go. And then he's going to go, and then, well, you know the scene, what happens. And then later on, Gregory receives this note from the kid who was running after him with something on his finger, and then he apologises for running because he, as a kid, he probably knew that Gregory didn't like that, and then puts it on the so no, these videos are Will, and he puts it on the letter, and then Gregory passes out for a couple of seconds, I don't know how long, and then ends up getting out and going, and then runs to his dad, which his dad, Gregory's dad, looked like he was just going to go and walk over. It really looks like it. So then also later on, we get to see this Mother's Day disco we do, and Gregory and his mum goes and they're talking and dancing, and then Gregory's mum tries to convince Gregory to go and just like make up and just like say someone and be friends again. Gregory tries that but it doesn't work, and because now Wally's got another friend and we've also already seen that. So, and then we've also got this dance scene and blah 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 blah. Eventually they do end up being friends, but from nearly fighting each other to being friends once again. Some of the bad kids that I've mentioned twice now, they come on their car to school property. Now if you do this in real life, they'll call the police and you'll get arrested, you will, because you're going on private property, and also it's a school and you could get arrested for some serious stuff. They're children, we're children, yeah? Not supposed to be around people like you. So they come on, and then I can't remember when, but the teacher comes out and scares the kids away, and then the bad adults away, and then the other ones comes out, and then, well, Gregory and Wally, they've both got the thing touched, and everyone's away. So that's that. We also get to find out, before I actually go into a bit more detail, but we also get to find out in the second one that Gregory passes it on to someone and now he doesn't have it anymore. So yeah. So realistically, I'm going to give this film, oh screw it, 10 out of 10. I'm going to be nice to you. And hopefully I'll be nice to the long haul cast. So yeah. Alright, now we're going to talk about Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Diary of a Wimpy Kid 2. Now in this one, we get to see Gregory and Wally. They've grown up a little bit. They're still kids, but they've grown up a little bit. I would say they'll be at least 12 or 13 years old. But yeah, again, they're still kids, and their whole old habits from the last film has carried on to this film. This one's called Diary of a Wimpy Kid 2, Wodrick Walls. So, as you know, Wodrick is kind of like one of the main people in this one, from like the last one. Whew! Alright, let's go. From the start of the film we get to see Gregory's family going on to their school welcome back thing we do. Not at school, but like at a skate park. There's also a disco and food, and also an arcade there, and tons of kids, and it's also Gregory finds out this bit disgusting it is, I would say so. So we get to see them once again, and then we also get introduced to this another new character called Holly Halls. This one's also in the third one as well. But Holly Horse is one of the new cast members, one of the new characters. And Gregory, as soon as he sees her, he's like, I'm going to have her. So, tries, he does, but you're just going to have to watch it, you will. So, in this one, we get to see that one of the main things is that Roderick and Gregory don't get along, and we got to witness that from the last film. This one, they go to church, and Roderick basically mucks with Gregory and gets something on his sorry, but we get to see that he mucks with Gregory's pants, his trousers, I would say. So he puts something on there and he bows him, and instead of, I'm a bit disappointed that the mum didn't do anything about this. And it's just like, you basically embarrassed your child, you did. Like, there is some realistically stuff. So, Gregory jumps on Roderick, and I think they fight on the floor, but will fight this fight. And then we get to see a montage with Gregory's mum not being very happy and being quite sad, and eventually they go away. Gregory's mum, dad, and also his other brother goes away. They go and see their they go and see their parents, and then they're left alone. Now, depending how old Roderick is, he wouldn't be able to do this anyway. His parents could go to prison, depending on his age, because Gregory's is a child and you can't leave children alone. It's against the law, it is. And if it's not against the law, then you could also get into trouble in some sort of way. There are always consequences to this stuff. So then they get left alone. So we solving stuff. Roderick invites people to a party and sends out a text saying, "Party at my place, Roderick." So then they have a party. I think the downfall of this is that they had photos. They did. Now, from what I know, they cleared everything away. That was fine, but until the dad looked at the video camera, they basically found out that they had a party, and then they went and they sent both of them away to their grandpa, I think, to look after him, or they look after them. But so we also get to see that Gregory brings along his diary or his journal, and then Roderick takes it, and also he doesn't have. This part, Gregory doesn't have clothes on. He's in the middle of old people. CCTV are also watching them, and we get to see at the end scene where he gets it back eventually, and I think it's all happy days, but let's just stop there. Now, there are some realistic sides to this. First of all, this film gets a 9 out of 10, and the reason that is because if your children has done something that bad, you wouldn't actually do that. You'd have to make sure the person is like, picture this, Gregory, 12, Roderick, let's say under 18. And they go to be with his grandpa, and then it's just, you don't do that, because usually when you're in an elderly home, you're not stable enough to actually look after a child. And like I said, the mum and dad could get into trouble. They could. And Gregory is just like, I'm sorry, but I know it's got trouble, but he's been put through a lot, he has. This is the type of stuff I haven't been put through. Like, I know that you don't get put through this at home, but I didn't even get put through this at school. I didn't, because you don't leave children like that alone. And if there's a person running around in their underwear, you would instantly notice that it's a child, and you would want to help. And how it's like when Oh, it's creepy. But these old ladies, these old women, Gregory finds out that he accidentally ran into a girl's toilet, and there's all these old women, and then somehow they're just like putting their hands through and just, I don't know, wanting to touch the boy. That's just. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to make this video something. Viewer discretion is advised. But weirdos much? Pedos much? Like, you're basically disgusting. Like, real life, that doesn't seem real life, that doesn't. But anyway, so, in conclusion to this, this is just a film, they just make up stuff. But if you do them in real life, it can end up in consequences. If Wodrick has embarrassed Gregory and you've tried to get the stain off, but instead it hasn't really worked and then some kid noticed, you know what you do? You take your kid outside and you tell Wodrick off, or you tell whoever did it off. That's what you did. And if they've got a party and, well, if they've got a party and they take photos, you don't really tell Wodrick, you tell Wodrick off and you leave the kids out of it, because they don't know the story that Gregory's been put down into the basement for a couple of minutes, I would say a couple of hours, and rescued by Wowley. So you just don't, you blame Wodrick. Like, everything that Wodrick's done in this film is his fault, and he's the one who's caused trouble and made Gregory's life as a miserable hell. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Just want to let you know that Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul, will be coming out May the 19th. So yeah, here's Diary of a Wimpy Kid stuff here, and here are my stuff here, and I will see you guys on the next one. A short film is coming soon. Bye.